Hello students, welcome to Ayurvedic. We have already discussed about the basics of Pitta Dosh, including its karma in the previous lecture. So in today's lecture, we will be discussing about the Vriddhi and Kshaya of Pitta Dosh, which means the increase or decrease in Pitta Dosh. What will happen if Pitta Dosh increases or decreases from its normal limit in the body? So let's get started. So there is a shlok regarding the lakṣaṇas of Pitta Vṛddhi, which comes in Sushruta Sahita of Acharya Sushruta, which goes like Pitta Vṛddho Pittavabhasata Santapah Shita Kamitvam Alpa Nidrata Murcha Balhaniri Indriya Daurbalya Pita Vinmutra Netratvam Cha. So before learning about the Pitta Vṛddhi Lakshans, you have to understand what are the causes that is responsible for the Pitta Vṛddhi in body. So consumption of food and lifestyle habits that will have the same qualities as that of the Pitta Dosh will lead to Pitta Doṣa Vṛddhi, and it will produce the symptoms, these following symptoms. So first one is पित्त अवभासता, त्वचा नेत्र शरीर पर पीताभ या पीला रंग का दिखाई देना, means the skin, the eyes or different body parts will become yellowish in color, that is jaundice like yellowing. And the modern correlation of this will be we can understand by hyperbilirubinemia. So how we can compare these two conditions? Firstly, you have to understand that hyperbilirubinemia is the excess bilirubin in blood, which leads to the jaundice in modern science. So pitta, we have already discussed in the previous lecture that pitta dosh is responsible for metabolism and transformation and also coloration in the body. And we have also compared bile with the pitta dosh in the previous lecture, like how bile can be compared with the pitta dosh we have already discussed. And here bilirubin is also a bile pigment. So theory says that the pitta is the one who is responsible for this condition, because pitta we have already correlated it with the bile, and bilirubin being the bile content is directly related with the pitta. So here uh, here's how we can compare hyperbilirubinemia with Pitta Doṣa Vṛddhi, and this condition creates this jaundice like yellowing in the sclera of the eyes, in the skin, and also in different body parts like in nails or everything. Next one is संताप, शरीर में जलन अधिक ताप, means increase in the body temperature is संताप, which includes burning sensations and fever. So how we can compare this condition with the hypermetabolism? Let's discuss about it. So we know, we discussed that pitta is the one which is responsible for heat production in the body, and here santap is the condition where there is excess heat in the body. And the modern correlation of this, we can understand it with the comparatively modern science by hypermetabolism. So first understand what is hypermetabolism. When there is increased metabolic activity in the body, there will be increased oxygen consumption, there will be increased ATP turnover, and there will be increased heat production. And with rise in the heat production or rise in the body temperature, there will be a condition of fever. So here pitta plays a very important role, because pitta is the one which is responsible or which governs the metabolism in the body. And when there is a hypermetabolism, it means that is the increased pitta in the body, or the condition of Pitta Vṛddhi. And because of these hypermetabolism, the body temperature increases, leading to the condition of santap. Okay. Now the next one is Shita Kamitvam. This is again related with the uh, first condition, which is santap. So here शीत कामित्वम meaning ठंडी वस्तुओं की इच्छा होना, means the person is desirous of cold things or cold foods or cold habitat. Okay. It means heat intolerance, or the person is desirous for cold things. So when there is excess of heat production in the body, there will be increase in the ushna and tikshna gun of pitta. This will cause the person to be desirous for cold things. He will not like hot things because of the body temperature is already high. So the person is more desirous for the cold thing, the things which is opposite of the heat. So we can also see Shita Kamitvam in the Pitta Vṛddhi conditions. Next is Alpanidrata. Alpanidrata meaning neend ka kam hona. That means it is an insomniac condition. So how Pitta Vṛddhi affects the sleep schedule or sleep patterns in the person. So in insomnia, due to the Ushna and Tikshna gun of Pitta, there will be a mental overactivation. Okay, so here we are talking about Sadhak Pitta, because we know that Sadhak Pitta resides in Hriday or Mastishtha. So when Sadhak Pitta increases, it leads to the emotional hyperactivity in the brain, which causes difficulty in sleep initiation. Because the mind stays alert instead of relaxed. The mind didn't relax, leading to the condition of insomnia in the person. So it is also due to the Sadhak Pitta. There is increase in the Ushna and Tikshna gun of the Sadhak Pitta. It causes overactivation, mental overactivation, leading to the condition of insomnia. Next is Murcha. Murcha meaning behoshi or fainting. It is a transient loss of consciousness in a. So here also there is a role of Sadhak Pitta, because Sadhak Pitta is the one which is responsible for the mental functions, metabolism in the brain, and the mental clarity. So Sadhak Pitta being excess in the quantity, it what it does, it overstimulates the nervous system, which causes the temporary shutdown of the brain, leading to the condition of fainting, or the person faints. So that's how Sadhak Pitta is responsible for condition of fainting when it gets increased. Okay, next one is Balahani, meaning Sharirik Shakti ka kam hona or fatigue. So let's understand it with Pachak Pitta. So we know that Pachak Pitta is responsible for the metabolism. Okay, so Pachak Pitta becomes hyperactive. When the Pachak Pitta becomes hyperactive, it leads to the rapid digestion and tissue metabolism. Or so here, energy is being consumed faster than it is restored. So Pachak Pitta increases, it leads to the rapid digestion or metabolism, which needs more energy. So here more energy is consumed, but it is not restored that fast, which leads to the condition of exhaustion or fatigue in the person. So that's how balhani occurs in the Pitta Vṛddhi condition. Next is Indriya Daurbalya, meaning Indriya ki kshamata mein kami or sensory weakness. We have already discussed that how Pitta Dosh performs different sensory functions, including visionary, auditory, or it is also responsible for the dermal health. So when there is a Pitta Vṛddhi in the body, it will affect all these sensory functions. When there is excess heat, so what excess heat does, these excess heat damages eyes tissues, it damages auditory apparatus and the skin receptors, leading to the reduced sensitivity and early fatigue of the senses. Also, excess of pitta vitiates rakta dhatu, which will lead to the poor nourishment to the sensory organ. We know that rakta dhatu is responsible to provide nourishment to all the sensory organs. So when pitta when the pitta gets in excess, it will in turn vitiates the rakta dhatu, which will lead to the poor nourishment to the sensory organs. And the third fact is that excess of Pitta Dosh also causes overstimulation, that we have already discussed, that Pitta Dosh, excess of Pitta Dosh causes overstimulation, or we can say there will be overuse of sense organ, which causes functional fatigue to the sense organ. So because of all these factors, uh, excess of Pitta or Pitta Vṛddhi causes sensory weakness in the person. Last one is Pitta Vin Mutra Netratvam. So it is just like the first one that we have discussed, Pitta Avabhasata, or the condition of hyperbilirubinemia, where the Mal Mutra Netra becomes yellowish, meaning yellow stool, yellow urine, or yellow eyes. The sclera of eyes becomes yellowish. All these parts or all these things becomes yellowish because of the excess of pitta dosh in the body or in the blood. So we have already discussed how we can compare it with the condition of hyperbilirubinemia, which is excess of bile pigments in the circulation. And by bile pigments we have already compared how we can compare the bile with the pitta dosh. We have already discussed that. Okay, so in pitta vriddhi lakshans, all these lakshana include, which include Pitta Vabhasata, meaning jaundice like yellowing. Santap, due to the excess of heat production in the body, there will be presence of santap. Shita Kamitvam, again because of the santap, because of excess of heat production, the person will be desirous for more cold things, which is known as Shita Kamitvam. Next one is Alpanidhrata, again overstimulation or hyperactivation of the mental functions will lead to the Alpanidhrata or insomnia condition. Then it's Murcha, meaning fainting. So again, excess Sadak Pitta overstimulates the nervous system, which causes the temporary shutdown, leading to Murcha or fainting. Then Balhani, meaning fatigue. So excess of heat or excess of Pachak Pitta will lead to the rapid digestion and tissue metabolism, which consumes more and more energy, leading to the fatigue. Then Indriya Daurbalya, we have discussed that it causes sensory weakness. Pitta Vṛddhi causes sensory weakness because the excess of heat damages eye tissues, auditory apparatus and skin receptors, leading to the sensory weakness. And last one is again Pitta Vin Mutra Netratvam, meaning yellow stool, yellow urine and yellow eyes. And it is because of the hyperbilirubinemia condition, which means excess of bile pigments or excess of bile pigments in a circulation. Okay, moving on. Now let's discuss about Pitta Kshaya Lakshan, meaning what will happen if there is a decrease in Pitta dosh in the body. So Acharya Sushrut in Sushrut Sahita mentioned this shlok, which goes like Pitta Kshaya Mando Ushmagnitaha Nishprabhata cha. Acharya Sushrut have mentioned these three main symptoms of Pitta Kshaya, which include Manda Ushma, meaning low body temperature or low heat production in the body. Next one is Manda Agnita. Okay. First one is Manda Ushma and second one is Manda Agnita. Manda Agnita means there will be poor digestion and there will be low metabolic rate in the body. The pitta will not be able to perform properly the function of metabolism. There will be low metabolism in the body, which is known as Manda Agnita. And third one is Nishprabhata, meaning there will be a pallor in the body. Okay, so let's discuss all these three symptoms one by one. Okay, first one is Manda Ushma. First one is Manda Ushma. Manda Ushma means hypothermia tendency. If we can correlate it with a modern science, it can be compared with the hypothermia tendency or less heat production in the body. शरीर के तापमान का कम होना. We know that pitta is responsible for the heat production in the body, and when there is decrease in the pitta dosh, obviously it will hamper the heat production and lead to the low heat production in the body or hypothermia tendency or hypothermia condition. Next one is Manda Agnita. Again here there will be a poor digestion or low metabolic rate because pitta dosh is responsible for metabolism, and if pitta dosh decreases it will hamper the process of metabolism and there will be a low metabolic rate. Okay, so these two conditions can be compared with first Manda Ushma is hypothermia and Manda Agnita meaning low metabolic rate. थर्ड वन इज निष्प्रभता, त्वचा व चेहरे की आभा का नष्ट होना या फीका पड़ना. So this is a condition of pallor or we can say anemia. So let's understand it. First we know that Ranjak Pitta, which resides in liver, is responsible for the Rakta Dhatu formation or the production of blood, okay, or the formation of blood. So when there is a condition of Kshaya of Pitta or decrease of Pitta dosh, there will be less production in the healthy Rakta or blood, which will lead to the pallor. Or we can also understand it by a theory that Pitta dosh governs Rakta Dhatu and Rakta Dhatu is the carrier of nutrients, oxygen and heat in the body, as we all know. So when there is a condition of Pitta Kshaya, or when there is a condition of decrease in Pitta Dhatu, Pitta Dosh, Rakta production and quality will also be reduced, leading to anemia. So here Pitta Dosh, the theory says that the Rakta Dhatu is inherent with the Pitta Dosh. So when there is any changes or any abnormalities in the Pitta Dosh, it will affect Rakta Dhatu. And specifically in this condition, because we know that blood provides nutrients and oxygen to the body and heat in the body. So when uh, there is a when there is a condition of Pitta Kshaya, the Rakta Dhatu hampers and the quality and production of Rakta Dhatu also hampers, which will lead to the condition of pallor, which will lead to the condition of pallor or anemia. Okay. So we have seen three lakshans or three symptoms in the Pitta Kshaya or decrease of Pitta Dhatu. First one is Manda Ushma means hypothermic condition. Second one is Manda Agnita means poor digestion or low metabolic rate. And third one is Nisha Prabhata meaning pallor or anemia in the body. So that's all for today's lecture. Uh, I hope you understand today's lecture. Let's meet or let's learn something new in the next lecture. Until then, keep reading and don't forget to like, subscribe, and share. Thank you for watching.